It's just a little bit risky into the AA. Like, it's not a free Morphling game, as some of them are.
It's another hero that can also utilize the Inkswell. You know, really put the pressure on. And I just feel like they have such, like you said, mobility here for OG. They can close the gap, and we'll see if they make TNC uncomfortable like they did in the last game with the pressure they put on. What do you think is going to come out here last, though, for TNC? You know, you were talking about that TA earlier. Could we see like an OD maybe, mid?
I feel like they need something that comes online at a decent time. I think the OD might be a little bit greedy. What are they going to go for? Yeah, they go for it anyway. Okay. I'm not too surprised. I feel like that hero does really well against the Ember Spirit in lane, especially. But Thompson, I feel like Thompson, it doesn't really matter how the matchup's supposed to go. He always does something crazy. I don't know what it's going to be this game, but it's very 50-50. You know, you never know.
So Anna will be on the Morphling, Sakshka on the Abaddon, Thompson on the Ember, Seb with the Omni Knight, Jarek's on the Grimstroke for OG, and then Armel will take on the OD, and Tim's on the Nyx, AU on the Ancient Apparition, Cuckoo on the Batrider, and Gabby on that one position, Sven. So game 1 went to OG. Thoughts on game 2? Who are you thinking?
I feel like this TNC, I feel like the Batrider has to go absolutely crazy to win this game. Like the Batrider and the Nyx between them, because they need to make so much space for this Sven and OD. I just worry that it's a really difficult game for them because of the 2 purges on the OG side. And I think I prefer OG's lineup, especially with this Inkswell that we talked about before.
I estimate the probability of winning to be above 99%.
How about you?
I kind of like OG. I mean, I think they're coming off a very confident game 1, playing a lineup that can be aggressive once again. They have the tools to counter this Batrider, someone you said is very important for TNC to win this game. So we'll see if TNC can put it together, but I've got my theoretical dollars on OG. Always good to bet in theoretical dollars, and then you can go into theoretical gambling addiction.
I'm interested to see what build the OD goes for this game as well in terms of items. Oh my, that is a sick Morphling win rate. 205 wins, 85 losses.
This might be more wins than I have in actual Dota.
Yeah, I want to know whether the OD is going to like rush a Hex really early on. Like we talked about these 2 mobile cores in the Morph and the Ember. They're pretty difficult to bring down unless you have that lockdown available.
See how these lanes kind of pan out as well. As it will be Gabby, Tim's, as well as AU on this Ancient Apparition coming over bottom, which is no surprise. It is something that we spoke about, and a lane that is probably going to be the most active. Now the question is, are they going to move anybody down here? Are they going to bring Morphling down here to go up against this? Are they going to keep Morphling top? What matchups are both teams looking for?
I think OG are going to be happy with these lanes, the ones they have at the moment. The Abaddon should just be able to help the Morphling enough in lane that he can out-CS the Batrider. The bot lane's not going to be fun for OG, and the Grimstroke might just look to rotate mid more to try and help the Ember out a little bit, but I don't think they can win this bot lane at all. Like, they have to basically just get whatever they can and try and win the other 2 lanes on OG.
That is a high battle pass, Seb. Jesus.
What level is he on? 2,200. Jesus.
Spend all the winnings, you know? Right on your battle pass.
Ooh, they get 3 runes.
Bounty runes here for TNC. It was 2 apiece in the previous game, but 3 this time for TNC. Have the ultimate advantage in the series.
That was really nice by TNC though. The Sven and the AA just went to 1 rune while the Nyx hung back because he knew that the Grimstroke was missing off the map. So knew that he might have been trying to be sneaky to steal a rune away.
He's actually... Jarek's wrapping all the way around. I'm surprised. I'm wondering what he's trying to accomplish here at the moment.
Jarek's is just going to look to try and stack up the creep wave, I think, as much as he can.
So just drag it over?
Because... just drag it over and, like, just manipulate the creep wave. Because if this is, like, a static lane in the bot lane, Seb's just going to get absolutely nothing down here. So Jarek's just has to mess with it a little bit.
You're actually taking a lot of damage here from Seb. Wow. already down quite low, forced to use that salve quite early on. Impale thrown by Tims as Jerax will try to drag this lane all the way over. He doesn't have stun for another 4 seconds, but nobody coming to meet him as still Seb's sitting really low and he has to be careful, but no Stormhammer for 10 and not enough mana regardless.
I'm interested to see whether Thompson does this thing again where he starts to cut the waves. Like between the tier 1 and the tier 2 mid. Yeah, I've seen him do this a few times now in different matchups, especially on Ember where he can't get a decent lane advantage. Oh,
Squad coming out over top as Cuckoo gets the kill here on Asakshka, and using that sticky napalm to just do, you know, add on to that and make it uncomfortable for the Abaddon to grab that first blood. Anna unable to do anything to help him out, really.
I'll be honest, this top lane is now an absolute disaster for OG because one, that probably shouldn't happen, right? But two, this Cuckoo's going to get level 3 before the morph, and he can basically just start running him down. Like, you really need to bully this Batrider out in the early levels just to help your Morph gain some kind of advantage. And if Morph gains a level advantage over the offlaner, he usually just wins that kind of like 1v1.
And immediately you see him go in for Anna. But bottom, we take a look here. Jerax in a little bit of trouble. And we'll get stunned up by the Stormhammer, and Gabby will grab a kill. So, similar to the start that we saw in Game 1, where it was 3 straight kills for TNC, and then OG, they got 3 straight kills, and we know how the rest happened. So trying to keep him, Jerax alive with the purification, but just was not enough as they were able to lock him down continuously. More with that Stormhammer, and again, Inkswell bottom again. Seb this time taken out, and it's a 3rd kill here for TNC early on. Doing a really good job of just locking him in, and that was the tri-lane we were talking about that seemed to be effective. When you've got Stormhammer, Cold Feet, and an Impale to work with, you needed to be careful on OG, and this is now both outer lanes struggling for OG.
It's such a strong tri-lane though, right, with the Sven. This is why we see this hero picked up so much at the moment, since tri-lane started to coming to be such a big part of the game. Was that a suicide by Tims? Yeah, it was. Thompson's getting really low mid as well, getting bullied by this OD. And this is the matchup that we talked about. I mean, he's getting more than I thought he would in this mid lane, but it's getting to the point now where OD gets like this almost level 5 mark, and he really starts to bully the Ember out the lane. That's where the Ember really starts to struggle.
And Cuckoo doing a lot of damage over top and disrupting this top lane so much. It's been a struggle for OG on both these side lanes, and like you're saying, also over mid, where Thompson's struggling on this Ember.
The best thing though is at least for Anna on the Morphling, he's getting a decent amount from this lane. Like, he's having almost free farm, you would say,
Cuckoo
but
coming over to help out Armel, and looks like Fistering Chains, but unable to get out. And another kill here for TNC, and the first kill over mid.
Yeah, I like seeing this Batrider pick up a bottle as well. He knows that his OD's not going to be going for one, so...
Hitting on the AU, Seb chasing down the Ancient Apparition. Now the Inkswell placed on him, but they've got the Impale. He's still trying to chase onto the Ancient Apparition, and Jerax ultimately gets that kill onto the AA. Gabby, meanwhile, he's got Stormhammer in a second. Ooh. So let's see if they try to stack the stuns with Ancient Apparition coming back. There's the Chilling Touch, Impale, Cold Feet, Stormhammer, putting it all together. He... Grace, and he's able to survive. He almost froze over there. That was a moment before he was going to freeze over, and now Tims might be in trouble. Inkswell stuns him up, Seb right-clicking, and we'll get the kill here onto Tims. So even stacking up all those stuns is... Whoa, Gabby! He gets so close as well.
That was close.
On the edge.
I mean, the problem is down here, right, that with the AA, the Cold Feet would normally be so reliable with these 2 suns, but because of the Omni Knight, like you saw, all of a sudden, this Heavenly Grace just takes off the potential for the extra lockdown from the Cold Feet. And he's level 4 now. Like, if you're playing this tri-lane, you really want to be bullying the Omni Knight enough so that the Sven can gain some kind of an advantage in the lane, so that he can then just, like, deal with the Omni Knight by himself. You know, free up the Nyx and the AA to kind of roam around a little bit more afterwards, but it's not worked out like that. Mid as well. Oh, God. That was the first Sanities.
up top as I saw Morphling go down to 1 health for a moment. Meanwhile, bottom, Seb again, he's now stunned by the Impale. They've got the Abaddon to help out, though. They don't have the Grimstroke here. As 3 heroes at bottom, I feel like OG could have capitalized on that aggression from TNC. But Spike Carapace, Purification coming out, and now Seb without any mat.
Thompson is a level and a half behind the OD from Armel. I mean, he is destroying this lane. Like, it is not close at all. You know, Thompson's got 14 CS in 6 minutes, and this is the problem when you... Every game I cast yesterday, when the Ember was picked up in the first phase, the OD was always banned out in the second phase because the teams understood that this matchup was so difficult for the Ember to play. And you're seeing it here, why?
Team spotted for a moment. Courier coming all the way down for Gabby to get those phase boots. It's try now, and they've left Anna to be by himself, who's now level 6 and has caught up to the Batrider in terms of experience. We'll see if they want to make a move here onto Gabby. Seb's still sitting so low on mana, but he's got that Soul Ring to work with. So, stun onto the Abaddon, who was trying to TP out. Sashka won't be able to turn an OG. Just now losing that TP from the Abaddon as it's just right in the face of Nyx. Of course he's going to stun you.
TNC have a 3k net worth advantage already, and we're only 7 minutes into the game. Like, this... They're really struggling at the moment. I feel like Jerax needs to try and move around a little bit more on this Grimstroke and see if he can do more with this Inkswell. Maybe towards the top lane, if you put it onto the Morphling, you know, he waveforms in.
Anna getting pressured
dove a little
top.
bit here as well.
A lot of damage being done there, and Thompson feeling uncomfortable as there were 2 heroes showing over mid. They don't have the TP on Abaddon, so he wouldn't have been able to help. He's without that TP for 30 more seconds.
I like what TNC are doing here as well. They've moved the Sven to the jungle because they understand that they both their supports really need level 6. So A's starting to farm the bot lane to get some XP. They're just being a little bit more efficient overall with how they use the map. You know, try and get as much of it from the jungle, all the lanes as they can. That's one of the best things about the Sven. It doesn't matter how your lane goes, really. You know, when you have these points in Great Cleave, the jungle's always there for you.
Especially if it gets stacked by your support. Sometimes we see these heroes with this potential to jungle so well, and you just don't see the stacking that's necessary to be as optimal.
He has taken a triple stack on the Sven already, to be fair. So, you know, he's getting something. Bot lane, AA.
AU trying to get out of this one, turns back, and it's because Gabby's here, but... Well, Gabby unable to save the life of this ancient apparition. However, they are converging on this bottom lane. A 2-man stun from Tins. The Stormhammer to follow it up. Look at the kill on a Jerax. And the Abaddon will be able to deny himself. But there's the Sanity's Eclipse being thrown into Seb. Double kill here for Armel. And TNC continue to roll.
Yeah, great rotation by Armel there. You know, you leave Thompson away to get a wave, which he desperately needs, but... I mean, Armel's getting so much down in that bot lane. He got the Jerax kill, gets the Seb kill as well. Was the sanities needed? Probably not, but, you know, when you're going for this Midas on the OD, you want to get it up as quickly as possible.
So that means they're going Midas on both the Sven as well as the OD. And there's the Inkswell. Anna was looking for AU, but will come up empty-handed.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, the bounty moon's about to spawn as well, so both teams got to be a little bit careful here.
They've got the OD nearby as well as the Ancient Apparition. They'll TP over the Batrider. Jerax in a really bad spot, but he'll be able to purge off the cold feet, so he won't be frozen over. They've got the silence onto the Batrider, continuing to chase. Adaptive Strike comes in, and Cuckoo in no man's land gets caught out. Not only that, they should be able to pick up 2 bounty runes here over top, and it will end up being 2 for 2 as Gabby picks up the bounty runes bottom.
Yeah, really nice Phantom's Embrace by Jerax there when he TP'd in. Stopped when the Batrider TP'd in, sorry. Stopped him from, you know, really doing anything there.
Here on to Thompson. Sleight of Fist trying to remnant away, but 3 heroes coming over. There's the Chilling Touch. Armel with another kill. And this OD, 4-0-1 already, has the Midas finished. 2 null talismans, a wand and treads, looking really good, and this is a problem if you're OG.
This Batrider's gone boots the travel first as well. I mean, the whole TNC, like, the 3 cores are just being so greedy with their farm. Like, this Batrider is not rushing Blink or anything to make space. He's just going for it. Like, they're all just farming.
So what do you have to do differently if you're OG? You know, you're allowing them to get away with getting this Midas on both the Sven as well as the OG. Ooh, they got the stun here onto the Morph as well as the Ice Blast to follow it up. He'll waveform away. So let's have the Aphotic Shield from Sakshka.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah, you can't heal him up
is
with
under
the Mystic Coil, but you can use the Aphotic Shield to keep him alive, which is nice. It's difficult for OG, right? Because their two supports don't really rotate around the map very well. Now, when you play this Grimstroke as a 4 instead of a 5, he's kind of a little bit lethargic. You know, he doesn't really... He's not very mobile when going across the map. Cuckoo top lane.
Cuckoo, just on the edge of it. Stroke of Fate also going to miss. But they're still looking for Cuckoo, and I think actually Cuckoo's looking for him. Tim's comes over. They've got the Adaptive Strike. Now the Soulbind, that locks in on the Tim, so they know there's a second nearby, but they can't really get over to him. They'll get the kill again on a Cuckoo, who gets caught out for a second straight time, and he did use that lasso.
I mean, Cuckoo was fine there, I think, right? But he decided to move back to the right again to bump into the Morph. I feel like he should have just hung round to the left as long as he could. Just fall down. Oh, this OD is 85 CS in comparison to the Ember's 36.
Wow. And
I mean, this is...
look at the net worth difference, too. Double the net worth of the Ember. More than double, actually, if you're doing some better NA math.
And yeah, I want to carry on my point before as well that although the Abaddon and Grimstroke don't rotate as well, they also have this Omni Knight, which is kind of like another static hero, right? That just wants to sit in a lane and farm a little bit at the start. Oh, Ice Blast on the Morph.
Might be in a little bit of trouble as he'll try to run out, but Jerax will end up biting the dust here.
Radiant's top tower is under
Mel now on a mega kill streak.
He has so much net worth on this OD. The thing is, right, like, it's nice that you get the kills on the supports here, but for OG, the most important thing is that your Morph doesn't die at this point, because he's your only real saving grace here. Sven has a Midas, like Batrider has BOTs, OD has a Midas. Like, all these heroes are just going to scale so well into the mid to late game now.
Radiant's middle tower is
Seems
under
like
attack.
OG are so far behind it that there's not much they can do in terms of aggression.
Dire's
I mean,
bottom
maybe
tower
if they
is
put it
under
all
attack.
together and fight as
Radiant's
5, they
middle
can get a
tower
couple of
is under
kills here,
attack.
but if they fight as 5 and that fight goes poorly, that's just going to boost what TNC's got an advantage.
Okay, so good thing for OG is Topson's gone for this build where he hasn't got any points in Flame Guard, which is going to allow him to actually fight really well early on with this change.
Now Inkswell coming through. They've got the Soulbind placed on Armel. He'll has to imprison himself, keep himself alive. Ice Blast coming out onto the Abaddon. They've also got the lasso onto the Ember. The Sanity's Eclipse is going to be dropped. Now Gabby comes into the mix. They get the kill onto the Ember as well as the Abaddon. 2 more in a bad spot as Anna forced to waveform away with the Inkswell on him. As he'll turn into the Nyx, get a 3-man stun, eat a stun from the real Nyx. And in a lot of trouble trying to get out of this one. Seb trying to keep him alive. Back into the Nyx. More Inkswell on top of Jerax, but unable to do anything as he falls. And Seb and Anna back off all the way to the tier 1 tower, somehow surviving. God Strength gets popped by Gabby, looking over at Seb. They've got the stun, moving forward, and Tim's looking to stun up the Abaddon once again. So he's in a bad spot with the Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, and eventually Gabby will get the kill. They will get the deny on the Abaddon, but 3 heroes dead on OG, and they lost this fight miserably. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. Maybe get 1 in return, but there's the Vendetta. Sleight of Fist again, not going to be enough. Remnants over, still trying to kill the Abaddon. 15 health.
Can they get the chain stun?
He can't do 15 health of damage, and he will end up losing his life chasing this Abaddon, and on top of it, there's the tips, handing it out, making it rain on Topson with those TI shards, and they'll get the kill on the Jerax. 15-6, 7,000 net worth lead here for TNC.
Gonna get 4 bounty runes as well on TNC. I mean, this game is just snowballing out of control for OG, unfortunately. Like, this Morphling's going for Lincoln Sphere first, which is nice, but it's not going to help him do damage in these fights either, and it feels like that's what they're really lacking, just because Topson's so far behind from the laning stage. Like, you really need your Ember to be really strong in this mid game to help make space for this Morphling, but it just hasn't happened that way.
They are up a creek without a paddle right now for OG.
Dire's top tower
Just so
is
far ahead.
falling.
Look at the net worth of the OD and the Sven. Blink Dagger already here for Armel. Echo Saber finished off for the Sven. He's going into the BKB. They're so ready for these fights right now, and with the Midases boosting them up and these continual wins in fights boosting them even further ahead of OG, it doesn't feel like OG have much to throw at TNC.
Yeah, look what OG's got queued up next as well. We talked about it earlier. And when this Hex comes out, all of a sudden, this game's going to go completely crazy. And it's even just the extra int for the Sanity's Eclipse multiplier as well.
Smoked up, they've come over towards bottom. They'll look over at tops in. He'll try to ram it. The stun gets missed as well as the Ice Blast. There's a Sleight of Fist Searing Chains. Seb rotates over. They've got 4, now 5. Though Rams went forward looking for Cuckoo. At least try to get one out
Oh, he
of
missed
this,
the chains.
This is the chains, and Cuckoo's just too fast.
How did he miss the chains? He was using Sleight of Fist and he was standing right next to the bat. I don't think he got fogged. That was weird.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Look how low in net worth this Abaddon
Oh,
has.
Jerax on the Grim.
Just getting caught out here. Cuckoo able to do whatever he wants to this Scream Stroke, and there's not much that they can do on the side of OG to retort that.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Like, this Batrider is just so fast as well, right? Like, he has boots of travel, he has drums. So before the drums active's been popped, he's already sitting at 415 movement speed.
Dire's top tower
Like, nobody from OG can really keep up with that at the moment. And if you see what they're doing at the moment, the Omni Knight's just sitting behind the Morphling because they need a purge available, just in case Anna gets gone on.
Radiant structures are fortified.
TP.
It's not easy for OG.
5 heroes here over towards top of the blink
Oh.
forward, and he's got the Astro Imprisonment as well as the Ice Blast, setting it up with the Impale and a very dead Topson, and they'll line it up with the Storm Hammer and continually just hand out tips.
You know what's cooking? Boom!
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower
This guy has no
Tims is
chill.
right under Seb, while 4 heroes are here for TNC, but they are starting to rotate over towards this Omni Knight. They've set up the vision. They'll look to get another kill here. The last one with the Blink Astro Imprisonment. This time, Tim's moving forward with a Vendetta, looking over at Seb. They start to converge, but it just seems to be a little bit too slow. Storm Hammer, eats well. The damage from Gabby, they've got the stun as well as the silence. Anna trying to do as much damage as he can here. He's joined here by the Abaddon, and Gabby just in no man's land. He takes one before he dies, but that is a 7-time streak going the way of the Morphling. He will buy onto the BKB before he falls too.
Oh, at least they get the Spectre though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's such a massive kill for Anna in terms of gold.
He's gone to this Lincoln first, going into what looks to be the Eagle next, but he's only got the Eagle song and then the BKB left for his full build, or what he's looking at for right now. He's just picked up the Ghost Scepter.
They're gonna
Another
smoke
from
up.
OG. They're trying to play aggressive off that kill on the Sven, knowing that he's not going to be around potentially over bottom.
I mean, this, as long as Tim's just hangs around in the trees here, like, OG aren't really going to get anything from this. Oh, Gabby's coming over, actually. Just...
Oh boy, again, Ice Blast setting it up and might be very dead. Sleight of Fist, he's got the Remnant trying to get away, but the rest of TNC are here to get the kill. They'll look over at the Abaddon, they'll continue to give chase. The Soulbind is thrown at the Batrider and the OD. Anna trying to do all he can to save his Abaddon, who's actually buying a little bit of a time for his inevitable
Gabby in the
death.
backline as well.
Gabby on the backline with the BKB being popped. They'll finally look over at the Abaddon, who will deny himself after all that hard work from TNC.
Like, the Ember's effectively just not a hero at this point, right? Like, it's his job that he basically has to just keep cutting creep waves and just sacrificing himself so that Anna can have the space to farm. Like, when you're this far behind, you just don't have any of the map to work with. So Anna needs whatever space OG have, because he's the only way that they're going to come back into this game. You know, when that E-Blade comes online, maybe he gets some kills onto the AA in the back line. You know, help his team stop dying to the physical damage from the Sven. You know, he's the most important hero here. They've got to try and put all their eggs in one basket. So Thompson's going to have to just play really sacrificial now and just play the lanes.
If given enough time, do you think Anna can pull it out all by himself? Or not all by himself, but with how far behind Thompson is, it feels like it would be all by himself. Meanwhile, Spike Carapace, and Anna's turned into the Nyx, though. Remnant forward looking for the Nyx assassin. They've got the Searing Chains onto the Sven. They'll get the kill. They'll look over at Gabby. The Stormhammer gets thrown here at Sakshka. They'll pop the BKB to TP out.
I feel like Roche has to be the next big objective, right, for TNC. I mean, I feel like these kind of like one-for-one trades are so bad for TNC. They just have to make sure they're not giving away anything for free.
Trying for Cuckoo, and he morphs into the Nyx assassin. A Spike Carapace, that'll lock the Bat Rider in place. They've got the Inkswell too, and one more shot. Thompson will get the kill, and much-needed gold going his way.
Like, this works for TNC at the start of the game, right, where you have these three cores that are all being greedy, but it's getting to the point of the game now where they need to start playing in pairs and in threes on TNC side, you know, if they're not 5 all the time. They've got to be a little bit more careful here.
Got this Hex finished on Armel. They've got a 12,000 net worth lead, a lot of padding, a lot of comfort at the moment. We'll have to see if OG can start to pull it back, but TNC definitely look postured and in the driver's seat of this game.
Thompson can afford a javelin. This is a big moment for him. They've got to make the most of it here. Poor guy.
It's been a rough game. 1-7-6. 7 deaths. A lot of them happening during the laning phase as well. It was over mid. He just got absolutely walloped by Armel. So OG
I mean, this
setting
is
up
the
on
problem,
Armel.
though. This is the problem if you pick the Ember up in the early stages of the draft. You know, it's like not towards the end. That it does have this option to be counterpicked. And like I said, everybody else was banning out OD yesterday.
Tim's
OG just decided they didn't want it.
looking over at Jerax. They've got the Yules. They'll look for the stun. The Impale will land. The right click's coming through. They've also got the lasso. That'll hit onto Thompson. There's a 2-man Ice Blast. The ulti's going to be popped here by Sip. They'll get the kill onto Jerax. They'll ram it away, trying to get out of the hands of TNC, into the hands of Armel. Ends up going down to Cuckoo. The BKB's been popped by Gabby, and Anna forced to waveform even further away to disengage. They lose 2 once again. TNC overwhelming OG and doing it with ease.
Do they want to go Roche here, or what are they? Gabby's stuck in trees. Okay. You're just chilling, man. Just being the ward. Role-playing Arteezy. It's fine. AU's going to get a D ward here as well off of OG. I felt so sad. They need every bit of information they can in these fights to be able to have any chance of winning them. And if anybody in Twitch chat wants to know what it's like to play position 5 in a game like this, just look at what the Abaddon's items are.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that the Ancient Apparition at 3,400 net worth has about 5 times the net worth of the Abaddon. That is the rough life of what feels like a position 6.
Sokshia's like, they're like, oh, how do you fancy standing in today? Because, you know, No-Tail's not well, so we really need you. And he's like, yeah, I'm sure. I can't wait for this really fun and interactive gameplay with my team. And he's like, 24 minutes into the game, he's got 600 net worth as Abaddon. He's like, this isn't what I signed up for, guys. Please. Come on. Oh, TNC's smoked up. Looks like they're not going to be able to hit anything.
Can OG sneak this Roche right now? Can they even try to sneak this Roche right now? That would be risky.
I mean, both teams were just smoking for the bounty rune spawns. Like, they're just mirroring each other's movements. TNC were expecting, like, one person to be down in the bot lane to pick up the bounties, but OG just happy with their 5-man getting 2 bounty runes stop.
This has been all TNC. They look so good this game. Such a turnover from last game. In a game that they look good in, but this is far and beyond what we saw in the last game, too. They've overwhelmed OG the way they did them in the previous one.
I mean, when Gabby gets this Daedalus as well on the Sven, he's going to be absolutely destroying fools. Like, I don't think anybody on the OG side can, like, live up to that damage coming out from the Sven. Like, Like, they have this Abaddon and the Omni Knight to save them, so that's going to be key. You know, can you use this Guardian Angel effectively? And he is going for the Halberd next on Seb as well, who's really going to help against the OD
Anna.
and the Sven.
Oh, Tibbs! There it is. He came over at the right time to stop that TP. But now they're gonna
Hex,
go. And Thompson's committed back over. The E-Blade gets thrown, and everybody's starting to show up for TNC. They've got Seb. They might want to try and get out of this one. He'll morph into this Nyx Assassin and impale the team that has them original Nyx.
Radiant's top tower is under
So they
attack.
get out of that unscathed. But that's a close call right there for OG.
It's really scary as well for OG, right? That this OD is really close to BKB. And Armel's been playing so well this game. When he gets that online, all of a sudden this E-Blade on the morph can't even do anything to the OD anymore. Like, he's going to be completely untouchable in that BKB duration. When he...
God's Strength, Ice Blast
Oh,
coming
not Seb.
in, and Seb's going to end up dying. He's a lot
Seb
of the sustain
can't
here
die
for
first.
OG. And then Thompson, he's the victim next. We're actually surviving, gets to the back lines. I thought he might be dead. They end up taking Jerax instead. But, oh, there's the Spike Carapace. Down goes the Abaddon. Sanity's Eclipse blowing up Anna, who buys back immediately with 3 heroes.
Yeah, as soon as Seb dies first in that fight, the fight's all TNC. They just wipe through them. We talked about that Guardian Angel being really key against the Sven, and unfortunately without it being there, you know, that was a really good catch from TNC. Exactly the way you want to start the fight for them.
Normally.
It's just perfect play from TNC there. They're playing it so well. They've been playing it so well the entire game. 21,000 net worth lead. They went for Seb. They knew to get him first. He's a lot of the sustainability on the side of OG. And what do you, I mean, is OG even realistically have any team fight without the Omni Knight?
No. No is the straight answer to that. I mean, it's pretty difficult to get the catch that you want right when you're playing against these two defensive heroes in the Abaddon and the Omni Knight, because technically if one of them gets gone on, the other one should be able to save the other, right? But the TNC have so much damage between their two cores, and they have decent amounts of control as well. Like, they've got the Sven stun, the Lasso, the Nyx stuns, the Hex on the OD, and they're all coming from different sources. It's not like they're reliant on one hero for this lockdown.
Trying to go for this Roche, but there's the Ice Blast as well as the BKB going to be popped here by Armel. They'll get the kill onto the Abaddon. They'll look over at Seb. They'll get the kill. And now, like we were just talking about, without Seb, are they even really a team? They try to get the kill here onto Cuckoo. They will finally find one. Jerax running away from Armel, who is silenced for the moment. But while that's happening, Anna will be taking a ride against this TNC squad, trying to survive, gets impaled. Armel finally finishes off Jerax, who does get soulbound.
Oh, the soulbinds?
Surviving, but eventually hexed. Armel right-clicking away the waveform out of the low ground. The TP attempt, the Lincoln's popped and gets away. Woo.
Yeah, Sven couldn't get down to the low ground. Unfortunately, the Lincoln's cancelled out the Astral Imprisonment from the OD as well, but unfortunately, yeah, the Sven stun not there in time. But they are going to get the Roche for themselves, at least on TNC. Like, it's still a good fight from them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've got control. The Roche pit now, they'll take the first Roche of the game, get themselves the Aegis, and up by so much. I mean, it's almost like they're playing with their food.
I mean, OG understand that the only way they come back into this game is by doing really, crazy things. They're so far behind, they have to make plays. So they go for that Roche. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. But, yeah, again, if Seb dies at the start of the fight, there's no chance that OG have of winning it.
Searing Chains
Bounty
onto
runes.
Armel. OG are nearby. They're
Dire's middle tower
right
is under attack.
here looking over at TNC. And it looks like they're going to take this last-ditch effort fight over by the Bounty Rune if need be. But,
yeah, we saw this from OG last time up in the top lane. They got the 2 Bounty Runes, and they understand how much gold they are. It's really important, especially at this 30-minute mark. I don't know how much gold they are exactly, but a 2k net worth swing for them would be huge at this point.
unfortunately, they come over and it's just too late. The Bounty Runes are already picked up by TNC, who have full map control. Thompson just kind of waiting here inside the trees. He's going for this Ags if he ever gets it. We'll see if he gets the gold for it. And then, of course, Anna looking for his BKB.
Yeah, let's play games with Twitch chat. Press 1 if you think he's going to finish the Axe. Press 2 if you don't think he'll finish the Axe. I know what I'd go for.
And press 3
with the way
if
this
you
game's
think
been
the
going out
courier's
at the
gonna
moment.
die, bringing it over.
Oh, did he sell something on Seb to pick up that halberd? I don't know what he sold, but he didn't have the gold when I looked a second ago.
Radiant
Silence on Armel, Stroke of Fate, then the Remnant behind. They were looking with Tims. They've got the Soulbind, so this is setting up quite nicely for OG. It's the best setup so far, but the two-man stun comes out from Tims. He's got that AN distance. He's able to survive. The Senator's Clip is going to be dropped down. Look at the kill on the save. They look over at the Abaddon, getting right-clicked by Armel, looking forward for even more. They've got the Yules here on a Jarek. Slight if this comes out, but they'll grab another one. 3 heroes dead. They'll continue on to the base. He'll morph into the Nyx Assassin, pop the Spike Carapace. It'll stun up Tims. Waveform over to the left. There's the E-Blade. Hex. Anna trying to survive, trying to make a play happen here with not much help from Thompson. Finally pops the Aegis, so it's something. Anna still alive, but everybody's here. He turns into this Nyx again and stuns them up. Can he survive once more? No, not this time. However, Tims does eventually fall. Thompson gets a kill. It seems like it's his first kill in who knows how long.
Hashtag road to Axe. Here we go. He's getting close. Yeah, I mean, Armel, he did so much damage in that fight. And you can't see how much int he stole because when he died on the Aegis, you lose all the original int that you had. Yeah, with the Shivas as well, now has the extra armor just to tank himself up. You're going to have the AC soon on the Sven as well.
Radiant's top tower.
So much tankiness coming through from TNC.
Dire's bottom shrine has fallen.
I like that AA's building a spirit vessel, by the way.
Radiant's top tower.
He is the spirit vessel, but he still needs a spirit vessel, just in case.
It was the item that almost replaced his job back when it was first released.
Oh, the Hex.
Forward, there's the Hex. Thompson getting low and stunned up here by Gabby. They'll throw the ult, but it's a little bit too late to save Thompson. The Soulbind comes in. They've also got the Silence as well as the Heaven's Halberd on both these heroes. Astral Imprisonment, staying alive. Seb without any mana. He's got the Aphotic Shield on him, and he is quite tanky. The BKB is going to be popped here by Armel. He's moving forward. There's the lasso. They get the kill on the Jarex. Thompson trying to do something, but hexed up. Triple kill for Gabby, looking for it all. Seb still alive. Ultra kill. Can it be the Rampage? Give it to him. Give it to this man. Armel, come on. Are you kidding me? Come on. GG is called by OG. TNC get the game. We're going to a game 3.
Well, Gabby manages to get to the secret shop to buy his AC before the game ends. That's a big brain play. I mean, this game's just